After more than 3 years of waiting, 2 Santa Clarita families will get some closure tomorrow.
This week, the Cougars will return home to face off against Grossmont at 7 p.m. at Cougar Stadium.
But as COC students may have noticed in the Honor Grove earlier this week,
develop people who build better tomorrows.
This is Kelly Price reporting from Vista Valencia for COC News.
How will this affect the rest of the job market?
Welcome to Canyons News.
Live from Mentry Hall, with news from around the Santa Clarita Valley. This is Canyons News.
Tonight on Canyons News, the campaign for the top spot at College of the Canyons is heating up.
Business owners say they may be fighting to stay open after road closures.
And from flights to cafes, dogs and cats are getting a second chance. Good evening, I'm Leah Pastorio.
And I'm Cole Sand. 4 candidates are competing for the superintendent president position at College of the Canyons. All have extensive experience in leadership roles at regional community colleges. Dr. Jeffrey Archibald has held various faculty positions at Mount San Antonio College. His resume includes department chair and 17 years as a full-time faculty in communication studies. Dr. Lataria Hall has over 20 years of experience in higher education as a first-generation scholar. She serves as vice interim counselor in the West Hills Community College District. Marvin Martinez is a chancellor for a community college district in Orange County and is a national trustee for the college board. Dr. Jasmine Rise is the current interim superintendent president and has over 24 years of leadership experience at College of the Canyons.
Winds down, all of the candidates took center stage. Canyons News reporter Robin Abshire is live where the finalists spoke to the public earlier this week. Robin?
Thanks, Leah. The college launched a nationwide search for a new superintendent president back in December. Now, the CEO hopefuls are making their case for the role. Here's what they had to say on Monday.
Creating opportunities for all is not optional, but it is essential for our communities if we are to thrive.
The community packed into the pack earlier this week when 4 finalists vying for the superintendent position at COC answered their questions.
You know, I'm not the type of person that sits in my ivory tower and doesn't leave it. I'm out there a lot.
The search for new candidates began in December, just over 2 months after the removal of David Andrus from the position of interim president. Now, the search reaches its conclusion after each of the 4 finalists came to the Valencia campus to show what makes them a proper fit for the job.
That's really the goal for the forums, is to involve the campus community and the community at large.
Students and community members were invited to sit in on the forums Monday morning. The event was also live streamed on Zoom, allowing the public to get a glimpse of the candidates, both live and from the comfort of their homes.
Every data point is a real human. Every data point is a real person that we're dealing with on a daily basis. And so I think that's how you get around the political footballs, is we're all people at the end of the day. We all have hopes, we have dreams, we have aspirations.
From chancellors to vice presidents, each candidate's background spoke to their experience, while they went on stage to showcase their ideals, their skills, and their hopes for COC's future, its students, faculty, and community members.
I really believe that as a leader, I walk beside whoever I'm supposed to be leading. I can't be out in the front because I won't see where it is that they need to head.
While our finalists came to speak to the community, the decision will ultimately be made by the Board of Trustees, and the new president is expected to begin their term at the start of July.
Yesterday morning, the Board of Trustees conducted final candidate interviews during closed session. The college says that a date for when the new CEO will be appointed has not been set. For Canyons News, I'm Robin Abshire. Back to you in the studio.
A Los Angeles-based animal rescue stepped in to help animals seized in Lake Hughes. Wings of Rescue transported more than 100 dogs and cats from LA County shelters to Chicago yesterday morning. The organization says the effort was aimed at relieving overcrowding shelters. This after authorities served a search warrant at Lake Hughes property last week. The Los Angeles County Department of Animal Care and Control says more than 300 animals were seized. Officials say the search was part of an investigation into alleged animal welfare violations.
In Santa Clarita, a cat lounge is helping shelter cats land on their feet. By creating a space for connection, it's boosting adoptions and giving these animals a second chance. Reporter Gigi Monteforte has more.
At first glance, it feels like a cozy lounge, quiet, calm, and filled with curious cats. But this cafe isn't just about spending time with cats. It's about helping them get adopted. All of the cats here come from a local rescue, giving them a chance to be seen outside of a traditional kennel.
With my lounge, I want it to be an open space where cats get to show their true personalities and potentially get adopted.
Instead of being seen through a cage, visitors can experience each cat's personality up close. And that connection matters.
These cages won't stay full for long. That's the goal. With every adoption, one cat finds a home and another gets a chance to be rescued. It's a small step that makes a big difference.
According to the ASPCA, 273,000 cats were euthanized in 2024. Experts say adoptions are crucial to giving these animals a second chance at life.
Adopting from a shelter or a rescue helps find a place for a homeless animal instead of taking one from a breeder and creating space to save more homeless animals. But spay and neuter is also very important because we need to reduce the number of animals being born in order to find homes for all the ones that are alive.
Spaces like the Cafe bridge that gap, connecting animals in need with people ready to help. Whether it's adoption or fostering, every interaction can lead to a second chance.
One of the greatest ways that we can increase our capacity is to expand our foster network because our facility can only hold so many animals, but we have a great foster network and I actually really want to expand our foster base to Santa Clarita.
Sometimes finding a forever home starts with a simple visit. For Canyons News, I am Gigi Monteforte.
A project meant for the Santa Clarita community is now being delayed. I personally took a look at what officials say is causing the damage.
A new bike park in Santa Clarita is already facing delays before it even opens. At the Haskell Canyon Open Space Bike Park, city officials say unauthorized riders have been entering the construction area.
We've had people out there on dirt bikes and on electric bikes, which of course that's not what the course is made for. And also motorized bikes are not permitted in any of the city's open spaces. So besides the fact that it's causing damage, it's just generally not allowed.
Despite posted signs warning people to stay out, officials say the activity is causing damage to the site. The unauthorized access is not only unsafe, but is also slowing progress on a project meant for the community.
We've gotten so much media attention about it. It's going to be 720 acres with 15 miles of cross-country climbing, downhill slopes, all kinds of cool things are already built out there. And I know our mountain bike community is really excited to get out there and try it. So we would like the dirt bike riders, the e-bike riders who are out there to please not do that in the bike park so we can get it open as soon as possible for those wanting to use it for its intended purpose.
Until the project is finished, officials are urging the public to respect closures so the park can open safely and on time.
We're fortunate to live here in Santa Clarita, where we are surrounded by nearly 15,000 acres of open space available for hiking, mountain bike riding, and just getting out and exploring the beautiful valley that we live in. This is really going to be a one-of-a-kind for our area, and we know that all kinds of people are excited about getting out there and testing their skills.
For Canyons News, I'm Leah Pastorio.
A closure on Bouquet Canyon Road is raising concerns for nearby businesses. Owners say the drop in traffic is already affecting them, while city officials say the project will bring long-term benefits. Jessica Makashima has the story.
We just can't let that plaza go under.
Since February, part of Bouquet Canyon Road has been closed for a construction project expected to last about 11 months. Businesses nearby say they are already seeing fewer customers.
I went to sleep, I woke up, I was 30% down. It's been about 30 to 35%, which is a huge chunk of sales right there.
Those concerns are being raised by other businesses in the Plum Commerce Plaza.
Yeah, any question? I'm good, how are you? Our sales went down like around 25%, 22%. We can't pay the bills.
Both owners say the change in traffic has made it harder for customers to reach their business.
It's inconvenience for them to take the U-turn, and it says the road is closed, but it doesn't have signage that we're open.
Nothing's changed other than my income, my take home has gotten substantially lower. This sets me back quite a bit of time.
City officials say the project is meant to improve safety, traffic flow, and flood control, and could help businesses flourish once it's complete. But the concern is what can happen before those benefits arrive.
I thought, oh wow, progress. This is good for Santa Clarita. Wider roads, that means customers to us to going to our place and other businesses.
I think the city is going to do whatever it can to help us out. I don't think that they have the power to make it go away, or if they did have the power to make it go away, it's very, very complicated.
While some business owners are raising concerns, the city says they have continued to promote and give outreach to affected businesses.
The detours seem to be working fine. No major traffic jams, no major traffic issues. We continue to add signage as needed. So far, it does seem to be working.
Still, business owners are still on the edge and consider if they will even last.
My husband and I put our life savings here. I feel like now we can't survive for 11 months. I'm not sure.
Reporting for Canyons News, I'm Jessica Makashima.
There are several things that set Santa Clarita Valley apart from other areas of Los Angeles County. One of those aspects might be something you don't see. Austin Dave has more.
We are out here, rain or shine.
Compared to most places, graffiti is hard to find in Santa Clarita. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, it's just hard to find.
It's not that there isn't any graffiti within Santa Clarita, it's just that it's our policy to remove it within 24 hours.
Vandalism ranging from marker tags in public restrooms to parked benches. It's all here one day, and thanks to the City of Santa Clarita's graffiti removal team, gone the next.
I just find a lot of pride in it. I haven't worked too many other jobs where what I'm doing directly impacts people's everyday lives.
Traveling in these specialized trucks.
So this is one of the 4 vehicles that we have designated solely to removing graffiti within Santa Clarita.
The team takes reports from the public and tackles them throughout the week, proactively removing any graffiti they find along the way.
Responding to a resident report of graffiti that we received through our resident service center.
You might see them at a local park, scrubbing out vandalism.
In Santa Clarita, no amount of graffiti is too small. It's a zero tolerance policy. We're gonna get everything that we can.
And they're moving so fast, you might not ever know that there was graffiti.
As soon as we hear about it, we are immediately responding to it. So that, ironically will lead people to the assumption that there is no graffiti within Santa Clarita, which is the goal.
In 2015, more than 2,400 reports of graffiti were received by the city. By 2021, that number grew 8 times. That's more than 50 per day. And that growth is partially because the city has worked to make graffiti easier to report.
You can find these, and anytime you see this barcode, go ahead and scan it to report graffiti.
And within 24 hours, it's gone. And residents have started to take notice.
They'll typically approach us when they notice what we're doing, and just to see the appreciation and thankfulness that they extend towards us. It's a really fulfilling aspect of the job.
A job most people wouldn't believe exists, simply because they don't see much graffiti. And if they do, the city's team will take care of it. After all, what goes up
haven't taken care of
must come down. Reporting in Santa Clarita, I'm Austin Dave.
If you see graffiti in your neighborhood, you can also call the city at 661-25-CLEAN or visit the Resident Service Center at santaclarita.gov.
The fentanyl crisis continues to affect the Santa Clarita community, with overdoses remaining a rising concern for local families. Reporter Paul Anderson highlights a new strategy by the Sheriff's Department to target dealers and curb the distribution of this deadly drug.
The national fentanyl crisis has become a war, even in ideal cities like Santa Clarita. Somehow, fentanyl found its way into an otherwise beautiful community. Carrie Quashin, nationally known addiction counselor, tells us how.
You could buy a press kit on eBay, on Amazon, to make anything look like whatever pill you want. So now the market's getting flooded with these pills, and they're copycat pills. They're fake pills. They're fentanyl pills. They look alike. Can't tell them apart. And so people are going to go, they're buying these pills off the streets, but these pills were now not what they thought.
Santa Clarita is winning the war one battle at a time.
Our entire department as a whole currently treats overdose deaths, whether they're fentanyl, any other opioid, or any type of drug at all. We treat them currently as murders. And our mission for the Sheriff's Department and this Bureau specifically, and with the entire department, is to save lives.
Ideal almost never means perfect. It can mean other things: community, partnerships, a helping hand in a neighbor's time of need. These are the things that make Santa Clarita ideal.
It's a community-based thing, and we are saving lives. We are making a difference. In the last few years, there's been a lot less overdoses. They're still here. We're not going to get rid of them, but this is the only way we're going to make a difference: is education, law enforcement, schools, and everyone working together.
For Canyons News, I'm Paul Anderson.
Earlier this month, Acton residents expressed concern about a proposed battery storage facility. Santa Clarita is no stranger to the topic. Deborah Morth revisits the controversy that surrounded a similar project in the city last year.
On a 3.2-acre site next to an Edison substation sits an 80-megawatt lithium-ion energy storage facility. Tucked behind a small strip mall in Canyon Country, it's just steps from homes and businesses. At a packed community meeting in Canyon Country last July, residents voiced concerns about the facility's safety. One of them, Canyon Country resident Tony Maldonado, warned the project could pose serious risk.
Let me be absolutely clear. The Canyon Country BESS is not just a bad idea. It's a ticking time bomb, planted just 200 feet from homes and businesses.
Brian Fink, a risk management subject matter expert with TerraGen, says,
water is not effective, neither is foam. There is no product that will put out a lithium-ion battery. Let that battery that's involved burn itself up.
But today, just steps from the battery plant, there's a noticeable disconnect. Some nearby workers and residents are unsure whether there is any danger or where the power from the batteries actually goes.
I don't get scared because it's not that big. It's a small.
Maria says she received advice from an Edison representative and an engineer friend on ways to reduce exposure if something goes wrong.
They say that the trees absorb some of the whatever the lieutenant have, and we don't get it in our system.
I do know it's supposed to be like another power source or power generating area.
Mr. Turner, with all due respect, I don't believe you. You are lying to us. Despite the fact of this design, you cannot guarantee our safety. That's the truth.
This is a done deal, is that correct? You're not shutting it down.
Deborah Morth reporting for Canyons News.
As weather becomes warmer and drier, fire risk grows higher and higher. I spoke with county officials on why preparedness matters when every second counts.
Over the winter, it rained a lot. But now we have something else to worry about. Wildfires.
Here in the 90s, near the 100-degree mark, it won't be long before any moisture in the ground has dissipated and those plants quickly dry out, right? That grass crop is quickly going to become readily burning fuel.
The Los Angeles County Fire Department has created a program that explains the steps that can be taken to keep your city and property safe.
I can't recommend it enough. That Ready, Set, Go program, not only for brush, but even for rainy season and flash flooding. It's a great resource. There is no substitute for preparation.
It's important to have an evacuation plan, but it's vital for one Stevenson Ranch resident whose father-in-law requires constant oxygen.
It's kind of like going scuba diving. We have to take his oxygen tanks and his machine and kind of plan that we need to get somewhere else where we can plug his machine in kind of within about an hour.
Luckily for one Valencia resident, a built-in system is already in place.
As missionaries, we're pretty encouraged to always have a plan in anything that we do. So we actually have these things called go bags that we get once we get into the field. And it's full of like first aid kits and emergency numbers for us to call, water and like food and anything else we need for the next 24 hours.
I was able to speak with meteorologist Brian Lewis at the National Weather Service, and he told me we could be seeing some rain next week. However, if that doesn't happen and things remain dry, we might be seeing our first red flag warning next month. That's why local firefighters are advising you to keep your houses prepared and have an evacuation plan in place now. Fire season might come sooner than you think. For Canyons News, I'm Cole Sand.
Coming up next on Canyons News, we take a dive into the familiar face at the helm of Hart High School swim team.
A local business in Santa Clarita is bringing a touch of nostalgia in its business. I'm Catherine Montenegro, and we'll be taking you inside the Collector Hub after the break.
When breaking news happens, we're always there first. The student-driven news agency at College of the Canyons is dedicated to give you the headlines, the facts, and the stories that matter to you. Santa Clarita stories told by the journalists of tomorrow. This is Canyons News. Catch us every other Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube at 9 p.m.
If there's a story in Santa Clarita, Canyons News is on it. Our student journalists are constantly working hard to bring you impactful stories on and off campus.
Out-of-the-box ideas.
From hard stories impacting our community, features of our city's most interesting residents, and constant sports updates from teams and events around the Santa Clarita Valley. From COC students, we're constantly keeping an eye on the city to bring you important updates about your home, bringing stories that relate to you and those around you. We're always out in the field and in our studio asking questions around the community so we can give our residents the voice they deserve, as our goal is to bring you reliable and important news straight from the people that make these stories possible.
Welcome back. We turn now to breaking news in Valencia. Firefighters battled a large electrical vehicle fire near Creekside Road. Earlier tonight, Canyons News learned a fire was breaking at an Audi dealership for a short time. At one point, the blaze was called a thermal runaway, as firefighters were unable to initially put the fire out. Sheriff's deputies did evacuate the area near the dealership, and those orders remain in effect.
Gas prices continue to rise in the state of California. Reporter Alina Guzman takes us to the pumps to find out what's fueling the frustration for some college students.
If you work a 9-to-5 or you're a college student who commutes, you might have noticed the rise in gas prices, and with every week, they seem to be getting higher and higher. For the state of California, there are reasons as to why this is, and that includes refinery closures, increased demand, as well as the California strategy called Cap and Invest. The Cap and Invest program is the state's strategy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and while it is for environmental regulations, some may argue how that affects these gas prices. Chevron gave a statement in response to the state's decision, urging them to think more about it and consider the effect this will have on the people who reside in the state of California. And for college students who commute to school, these high prices mean making sacrifices.
I'd have to miss school sometimes because maybe we might not have like enough gas, or it'd just be too pricey for us to get any.
And they're not only making tough choices when it comes to their education.
I just noticed it's gone up a bit higher, and usually we want to go out to a bunch of places kind of like farther out, like let's say in Los Angeles or Long Beach, since that is where my school is going to be. I noticed it's been affecting just our way of traveling a lot more.
As these prices rise and remain unpredictable, college students are left managing more than just tuition and textbooks, but now the added cost of fuel.
You know, I still try my best to come to school every day, but I feel like more in the future it'd be like more difficult.
For Canyons News, I'm Alina Guzman.
Paying for college is a growing challenge for many students, as rising costs force more to work while staying enrolled. Some students say balancing work and school is becoming overwhelming. Reporter Julian Alvarado has more.
My name is Gianna Delgado.
College students Gianna Delgado and Victor Velasquez share the same short-term life goal: to finish a 4-year college degree.
I'm majoring in business management.
My major is business administration. Plan to focus on the financial part of that.
They both know they still have a long way to go. A journey, as they say, is becoming quite challenging since they have to work part-time to cover some college expenses that their financial aid doesn't stretch to cover, such as gas and food, among other expenses.
Is money your biggest challenge to go to college? And if so, why?
Yes, money would be my biggest challenge to go to college because I have 2 younger siblings and my parents are saving up for all of us to go to college. So it's a lot of saving up to do.
Gianna says she has to depend on the extra income she working as a waitress 20 hours a week to cover the expenses needed.
If I didn't have financial aid, I would probably be working a full-time job, helping pay off my tuition.
Victor's situation is not different than Gianna's. He says that he also has to depend on a part-time job at a pet store to cover the extra expenses too.
If I didn't have financial aid, I wouldn't be able to be here full-time committed. I'd have to get a second job.
Gianna and Victor are not alone in this journey. According to Luminia Foundation, approximately 64% of college students in the U.S. work while enrolled, while 40% have to work full-time.
I would be paying about $14,000 to $15,000 per year.
And as Gianna and Victor say, they will keep fighting as hard as they can to make their dream come true.
This career will change my life because it will allow me to pursue something that I love.
It is important to me to finish my college career because it will allow me to find high-paying jobs in the field that I want.
For Canyons News, I'm Julian Alvarado.
Graduation is around the corner, but before you walk the stage, make sure you're not missing a crucial step. Canyons News reporter Nevin Herndon has more.
Are you planning on graduating from College of the Canyons? Plan on walking in the ceremony? Did you know to get to that point, you need to have petitioned? I asked around to learn as much as possible about the process.
Petitioning to graduate is a step that's needed in order to graduate. If students are interested, they would go into counseling, and they would like to do it when they're enrolled in their final classes needed for their degree.
Petitions are typically due by the 5th week of your last semester, which this year was March 13th, but that does not mean it's too late to fill out your petition.
Graduation includes 3 different semesters: the fall, spring, and summer. So as long as students that are wanting to be a part of this graduation gets it in by April 1st, which is, petitioning during summer.
The summer deadline is only a week away on April 1st, so make sure to visit the counselor's office or do an express drop-in online if you need assistance.
So I actually have an older brother who went here who kind of informed me, but from the school, I kind of didn't realize until 2-3 months ago. It was really easy. So I attended one of the drop-in counseling appointments, and I talked to my counselor regarding if I could petition, and then me and my counselor went through with it. It probably took about 15-20 minutes.
If you know anybody that's graduating this semester, they may not be as informed as you.
I know some of my friends, I had to inform them that they had a petition to graduate. I think that's something people don't realize they have to do, because when you come from high school, you don't have to kind of worry about that stuff.
Whether this is your first reminder or your last warning, don't forget to get those petitions filled out when it's your turn to graduate. For Canyons News, I'm Nevin Herndon.
There is a place for local collectors to buy and sell right here in Santa Clarita. The business not only wants to connect collectors, but to also bring entertainment and representation to the community. Canyons News reporter Catherine Montenegro joins us live with more. Catherine?
Thanks, Cole. SCV Collectibles began its journey at the Saugus Speedway. Eventually, it grew into a business that soon found a home at the Old Road last year. I spoke with one of the owners in order to find out why they decided to begin this business and open a shop here in the Valley.
Collectors have a new place to call home here in Santa Clarita every weekend. SCV Collectibles is a family-owned business run by father-son duo Ray and John Cruz.
We really just want to bring the community together. We want to bring everybody from every nerddom, whether that's Funko Pops or comics or Pokemon, Magic, One Piece, you name it.
Color wheel behind it with a light bulb.
As Ray Cruz runs the establishment alongside his father, they make sure that booths are being attended to and that everyone who's shopping and collecting is having a great time.
It being a kind of family-run business has been really cool. I get to experience the nerddom with my dad, but at the same time, we get to run a show together. There are some difficulties with it, but it's a lot of fun.
Approximately 26% of businesses in California are Hispanic-owned, and 3.5% of businesses are veteran-owned. SCV Collectibles says they don't just bring family together, but they show us how much the Hispanic and veteran culture can make an impact.
We really kind of try and plug the culture into everything as far as the Hispanic culture. It helps with us to be able to plug our culture into collecting. Especially being in Southern California, there's a huge Hispanic community out here. So it really helps us connect our culture to collecting. We're both military veterans, so it allows us to kind of communicate in a way and really having kind of a get things done attitude about it.
SCV Collectibles hosts various events wanting to bring the collector community together. They hope to continue growing as a family, being open to anyone who wants to stop by and check out the location down on the Old Road.
Seeing people have fun and seeing people smile is kind of the biggest success.
With a goal of creating a fun and safe place for everyone, SCV Collectibles opens its doors for everyone and anyone who wants to begin or continue collecting.
SCV Collectibles aims to be a welcoming space to all residents of Santa Clarita who want to stop by, take a look around, and support a family-owned business. From Canyons, Catherine Montenegro, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Catherine. Every project has a story behind it. Canyons News reporter Nicholas Hernandez brings us the voices of a carpenter and the client who trusted him to build something that means more than just a finished product.
Thinking of a special way to enhance your party, or perhaps you need a thoughtful way to say goodbye. I recently spoke with a local carpenter who shared a touching story about one of his clients. After the loss of her son, his work made a significant positive impact on her life.
The client reaches out to me through email or text message, tells me, hey, I got a party coming up, and they already know what I'm asking for. And pretty much I need a month to kind of sort it out, and then I have them send what they're thinking of doing, and from there it's just pencil to paper.
While parties may be his expertise, they're not the only thing he gets called for. He later gets in contact with a client who asks for something more personal.
So once I had a client that her kid passed away, and she reached out to me, and I really dreaded hearing her story, but I wanted to help her as much as I could.
After receiving the unfortunate news from the client, Victor prepares for the task at hand. He even met with them in person to exchange information and ideas regarding what to provide for her.
Funny story, we found each other. We were actually in the car passing by. He had an airplane on display in his ice cream truck. That is actually his work truck, which I think is pretty creative. And we stopped and we pulled him over and we started talking, and little did we know, he was like the guy for the job.
Nicole Arias, the mother of Nolan, her late son, chose to honor his memory uniquely. Instead of grieving his loss, she decided to celebrate the life he lived by creating a memorable tribute that reflected his passions.
I was speechless. I think I cried because it fit every single part of what we talked about, and it was literally right there in front of us, showcased in its beautiful form, and it was super immaculate, detail-oriented. Everything that we talked about was done. So it was a very emotional response when I seen it. I was super happy.
Although Nolan is no longer with us, Nicole and her family will forever hold close the memory of Victor's kindness and his heartfelt gathering they shared to honor Nolan's life. For Canyon News, I'm Nicholas Hernandez.
A season of basketball at College of the Canyons became something much more than just wins and losses. After the sudden loss of one of their teammates, the program found itself united by something deeper than the game. Reporter Michael Garcia has more.
In December of 2025, College of the Canyons basketball lost one of its own. 25-year-old Donovan Chapman died in a tragic accident, leaving behind a team still feeling the loss of a teammate, leader, and friend. It was just after 4 a.m. on December 21st, a violent crash along the northbound Interstate 5 in Pacoima. Investigators say a sedan slammed into a large truck near Branford Street, just north of the 170 interchange.
You know, we met to get as a group right after. Everybody got the news, and you know, we spent that whole day together. You know, in thought, you know, in prayer for Donovan. And then he's always in our talks. We speak his name every day. You know, he's in practice every day with us. We speak his name in practice. We speak his name before games. So, you know, he was a big part of the team. You know, the guys really liked him a lot.
But as the season moved forward, the focus quickly shifted. For this team, every practice, every game became about something bigger than basketball.
After we found out about Donovan, I feel like it brought us together closer as a team, and we were kind of doing it for him, I'd say.
Chapman was known for his energy, his competitiveness, and his constant desire to win. But more importantly, he was someone who pushed his teammates and helped change the culture of the program.
He was a culture changer. You know, he brought in, you know, high level of work ethic, great teammate, you know, constant desire to win, you know, competitive, you know, so he was a really big part of the culture change that took over here.
And even after his passing, that impact hasn't gone anywhere. If anything, it's become the driving force behind his team.
I think winning, because he always wanted to win, and he'd do anything it takes to win. So when we would win, I feel like that was a feeling that I associate with him.
A season played in his honor, and the legacy that continues to live on through his team. For Canyons News, I'm Michael Garcia.
College of the Canyons baseball roster features 4 players with a winning connection. Reporter Riley Scott has more on what ties them together.
Champions don't always stay far from home. As the 2026 COC men's baseball season is in full effect, there is some great history within the team, dating back only 2 years ago. The men's roster this year consists of some former CIF champions that come from Hart High School. Second baseman Matthew Perez emphasizes how important those big championship moments have been for his growth towards the next level.
I've learned a lot of things, you know, about myself, about other people, about the game, about life in general. And I think it's been good for me and just to grow.
While the baseball field has been their #1 priority over the last several years of their life, what comes with all that hard work and determination also comes with a lifelong bond and memories with the guys they've been playing side by side with. First baseman for the COC baseball team, Eddie Gutierrez, is seen as a player who is well liked and respected by his teammates, as he discusses how important it is to build that bond with the people that he shares the field with.
And here, I think everyone knows. They really don't talk about it as much, but we're all close. We've all played. We're all local, so we're all really close.
As great as baseball has treated these young athletes throughout their careers, baseball isn't the only plan these sluggers have in mind. Michael Hogan, third baseman, illustrates what a life after the sport of baseball looks like for him.
My next step would be either want to be playing at D1 and then further after that, or if baseball doesn't work out, I would want to do some trade, whether it be welding or lineman.
The boys that made history in 2024 are trying to help the COC baseball team chase that same glory that they once felt as their season is in full effect, trying to bring home another title to the school. I'm Riley Scott, reporting from Canyons News.
Hart High School swim team is making waves this season with the addition of a new head coach who's already making an impact. Reporter Valerie Diaz takes us poolside.
At Hart, the swim team is diving into a new season with fresh leadership and a renewed sense of energy. That energy comes from a new head coach, Sean Kukuma, who brings over a decade of experience at the collegiate level. Before arriving at Hart, Kukuma spent 12 seasons coaching at College of the Canyons, where his program saw major success, setting dozens of school records and producing conference champions and state-level athletes. Now, he's bringing that same level of experience and intensity to a younger group of swimmers.
We've had a few coaches over the years, and they've all been great. But Sean's really gotten to know us in a very quick amount of time, and I think a lot of us have grown a liking to him. He's nice, he has a fun personality, and he gets humor, and I think that's important with kids.
But beyond wins and records, Kakuma says his focus is building something bigger than just fast times.
Educate, teach, every day go in with the idea of trying to make the whole team better through community, through sportsmanship, through having the same goal of unifying everyone to work together.
That emphasis on connection and teamwork is already making a difference as swimmers adjust to a more focused and supportive environment. With a balance of experience, energy, and strong team culture, Hard Swim program is looking ahead to a season full of growth and high expectations. For Canyons News, I'm Valerie Diaz.
That does it for this edition of Canyons News. Remember, you can catch us on the web at canyonsnews.com.
You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, canyonsnews_COC, and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Have a good night, everybody.